It wasn't clear, the picture of just how bad it is, like 1 million Tibetan children in colonial boarding schools in Tibet. My name is Laden Tetong. I'm the director and co-founder of Tibet Action Institute. Tibet Action Institute is committed to training Tibetans in the use of digital security tools and best practices in the Tibet movement to fight for rights and freedom inside Tibet. We decided that this really was critical moving forward, that Tibetans inside could do and would do so much if they just had the tools. And so that's really what we founded Tibet Action, to do that and to try to bring up the level of the nonviolent battle that Tibetans have been waging for freedom for 7 decades.
A report out from the Tibet Action Institute that says the Chinese government has been using policies to force Tibetan children.
China's constructed a massive colonial boarding school system in occupied Tibet. They have nearly all Tibetan students between the ages of 4 and 18 in residential schools, being removed from your parents and families and culture and language, with a very harsh identity erasing curriculum and life.
I missed my family, but I couldn't cry, and I couldn't talk to other students and teachers because I didn't know Chinese then. There were many other children who missed their families and cried too. Some of the younger ones often woke up in the middle of the night crying, and they would run to the school gate.
Tibet Action Institute, our report was really we were sort of the first to sound the alarm on this system. By releasing this report and gaining sort of global attention on the issue of the colonial boarding schools in Tibet, we've been able to break through the enforced silence and really put an end to this campaign to sort of erase Tibet. This is really critical that we sort of keep the pressure on, keep the spotlight on, and find new and creative ways to challenge them both in and outside of Tibet. This is all about rights and freedom. We will be a nation and we will regain our rights, our freedom. It's only impossible till it's not.
Welcome to the stage, Representative Peter Rostrom.
Have you noticed something about our culture? We are an easily distracted people. The proof of this is an anecdote from this morning. I met a colleague for breakfast who arrived 5 minutes before I did, and when I walked in, he had his laptop open, he was scrolling the internet, he was sending emails, and he was on the phone, and as I came in, he gave me that word. Now that's funny, and I teased him, and I gave him a hard time, but when that happens on a global basis, and we lose the attention that we need to pay to serious issues because of distraction, that's no joke. One of the things that the Tibet Action Institute did was put the idea of Tibetan sovereignty back on the map. Because here's the challenge. It was fading away somewhat. And through their report, through the report that said that the Chinese government was forcing Tibetan children into a system of boarding schools, not out of benevolence, not out of a notion of, hey, how can we help you, but through cultural malevolence, through a desire to erase Tibetan culture and put it aside. That was the agenda, and that's a shameful thing. And the Tibet Action Institute was able to capture that information, raise a report, put it out into the public, and refocus the public's attention on this vital issue. And in listening to the programs tonight, it struck me that there's one thing worse than suffering. And the worst thing than suffering is suffering in anonymity, when nobody knows what's going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great joy on behalf of the National Endowment for Democracy to present this 2024 Democracy Award to the Tibet Action Institute. So please welcome Laden Tetong and Dr. Gal Lo.